About 18 months ago, I tentatively joined a life group. I was really nervous when we started, and when we actually got to meet for the first time, I was like, what on earth am I doing here? But once we actually got together, our whole group really clicked, and they became very quickly a very important part of my walk with God. Around the same time, my husband and I were going through a really, really tough time. We'd gone through infertility for the last 7 years, and that meant an awful lot of treatments, and eventually a failed IVF cycle. And we eventually, and very sadly, decided that children were not in God's plan for us. I also got diagnosed with a chronic genetic disease that was untreatable, and my husband and I both got made redundant from our jobs at the same time, so it was a pretty tough time. Through all of this, my life group were invaluable. They provided love, compassion, support, hugs and prayer whenever we needed it, as well as more practical support. It was more than just studying the Bible or praying out loud, which was really what I expected when we started. It was more, you could say anything you like, you could pray, you could ask for prayer, you could do anything, and through experiences both good and bad, they taught me to turn to God for support. The Bible speaks a lot about sharing fellowship with other Christians. I never really thought this was necessary. As long as I was with God, I was in with God, I was fine, no worries. But I was wrong. I feel that my life group is very much like the early church was and is supposed to be. It's sharing experiences with a group of people who are more like a family, so you can just feel free to talk, to listen, even just ask for prayer, and it's very real. I've experienced suffering, and yet I'm learning more and more to trust God, and God is changing me through having fellowship with some very, very special people. I'm Adrienne Smith, and this is my story.